This is Michigan Moments, rediscovering the pioneering history of the Great Lakes State.
We are in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in 1911. At a small timber depot, townsfolk gather in curiosity. Instead of a hulking steam locomotive, a strange new contraption rolls up. A self-propelled gasoline motorcar, painted in bright colors and trimmed with brass. In an era when most trains billowed smoke, this motorcar putters in with just a low rumble. It's the Ann Arbor Railroad's latest experiment, a gasoline-powered rail car, heralded as a modern solution for rural transportation. These motorcars were essentially railroad buses, single coaches with their own internal combustion engine, no steam engine required. The Ann Arbor Railroad had bought 5 of them in 1911. Each was about 55 feet long, all steel, with a pointed nose and a rounded tail. They looked futuristic for their time, often called wind splitters for their streamlined fronts. The railroad's managers hoped these gasoline cars would cheaply serve small towns and branch lines where a full steam train was overkill. At the same time, electric interurban trolleys were popping up across Michigan, luring passengers with quick, frequent service. The Ann Arbor's new motorcars were a bold response, a way to compete with the interurban lines without having to string up electric wires. Each morning, one of the stubby motorcars would set out from Owasso, heading north. It rattled over 100 miles of track to Cadillac, and then turned around in the afternoon for the return trip. The timetable said the journey took about 4 to 5 hours one way. The car would stop at nearly every little station: Ashley, Alma, Clare, Temple, and dozens more. In fact, railroad lore says the motorcars would even flag down at country road crossings to pick up passengers on request. That was something traditional steam trains rarely did, but it helped mimic the convenience of the interurbans. For farmers and villagers along the line, the gasoline motorcar was a welcome sight, a one-coach train that could take you into town or back home without the railroad running a whole locomotive and crew. Many residents were delighted by the novelty. Postcards from the time show proud crowds swarming around the new motorcar at stations. In one image from Howell, Michigan, a cheerful crowd presses in as railroad officials pose by the shiny coach. Townspeople saw it as a marvel of progress, something right out of a World's Fair. The Ann Arbor Railroad even boasted that these cars had electric lighting and fans for rider comfort, a modern touch in 1911. On hot summer weekends, excursionists packed the motorcars for day trips. Service between Ann Arbor and nearby Whitmore Lake became so popular that the railroad ran up to 8 round trips a day in the summer. Locals nicknamed that busy shuttle the ping-pong train because it bounced back and forth so frequently. By all accounts, many riders loved the convenience. But there were also whispers of doubt. Railroad men called the little gas trains doodlebugs, half affection, half jest. The technology was still new, and breakdowns were common. The McKean Motor Car Company of Omaha built the engines, but they hadn't yet perfected them. The motor cars shook and shuddered on the rough track. Mechanics struggled with the 6-cylinder marine-type engines, which had a reputation for being finicky. Starting one up each morning could become an adventure in itself. There are tales of crew members resorting to a peculiar trick, using a steam locomotive to give the motor car a push start when its engine wouldn't turn over. Imagine the irony, a steamer nudging the efficient gas car to life. Incidents like that made traditional railroaders roll their eyes. Some passengers, too, surely wondered if this noisy newfangled machine was as reliable as the old iron horse. Technically, the gasoline motor cars ran on the Ann Arbor's standard tracks, so they had to cooperate with regular trains. They often pulled a small trailer coach or baggage car if needed, but they were lightweight compared to steam trains. Engineers noted they had trouble climbing steep grades. The line's northernmost segment, with the hill into Frankfort on Lake Michigan, proved too much. The motor cars would overheat on the big incline. As a result, the gas cars rarely ventured all the way to Frankfort except on test runs, even though a famous postcard shows one posed at the Frankfort docks. More frequently, they stuck to flatter parts of the route. Meanwhile, electric interurban railways were zipping along paved rights-of-way in southern Michigan. These trolley cars were quiet, clean, and didn't shake like the gas cars. An interurban line had been planned to connect Toledo, Ann Arbor, and Jackson, right along the Ann Arbor Railroad's territory. But the Ann Arbor's quick move to launch its motorcar service in 1911 helped thwart that plan. By providing service on the same corridors, the railroad undercut the argument for building a costly electric line. The gasoline motor cars were the railroad's answer to the interurban craze, and for a while, it worked. Passengers who might have waited for an electric trolley could hop on the Ann Arbor's rail bus instead. Ultimately, though, time caught up with the motorcar experiment. The early 1920s brought an explosion of paved roads and affordable automobiles. Henry Ford's Model T was giving people the freedom to drive anywhere, anytime. Ridership on the little gas cars dwindled as folks bought cars or took new bus lines. The Ann Arbor Railroad itself changed ownership in 1925, and the incoming management was less interested in quirky one-car trains. By late 1924, the gasoline motor cars were phased out. The very last run came at the end of that year, after roughly 13 years in service. Today, the Ann Arbor Railroad's gasoline motor cars survive only in photographs and memories, a brief glimmer of innovation on the rails. The gasoline motor cars may have been short-lived, but they capture a moment when the old world of steam met the new age of gasoline, right here in Michigan.
This has been Michigan Moments, offering bite-sized morsels of Michigan history.